Hi everyone, Erica Nace here, and I'm here to walk you through how to grant registration clearance for your advisees. First thing to note is that I'm at home, so you might hear strange noises in the background. Just try to drown them out. I do. Second to note is that we're going to start in my.greenville.edu. That's the student dashboard, and that's our starting place for this process. You're going to kind of follow the process as you would to get to where you would post your grades. But we're not going to post grades. We're going to give clearance. So up here in the top left corner, you'll want to log in with your username and password. I'm going to try not to shake my computer since I'm typing directly on it. Log in. Okay, so your faculty and staff, so you're going to click on this portion right here. Okay, and then that's going to take you to where you can click on the Faculty Control Center. So you want to go there. Okay, again, this is where if you were entering grades, you would go here. You can also, shameless plug, put an early alert message in here for students who are showing alerts early on or even later on. But for today, we're going to go over here to advisee roster. Okay, so there's several things you can do over here, but we're going to go to advisee roster. I think you can get to it. Nope, you can't get to it that way. So advisee roster on the left. If you ever need to go back, use these things up here to kind of go back one step, because if you click the back button, it's going to throw your whole screen off and mess you up. So don't click back. Don't click this back button whenever you're in faculty and staff in the portal. Click these little, I think Michelle Susan Bach calls them breadcrumbs. So click these little breadcrumbs to help you sort of make your way back to the thing you needed previously. Okay, so here we are, advisee roster. So what you're going to do, if you would like to see who your current advisees are, okay, first thing, active advisees, and hit search. Okay, it's going to bring up everybody alphabetically. You'll see up here in the top right. There's potentially other pages depending on how many advisees you have, but all their names will be listed here. Excuse me. You'll be able to send them an email here on this with this little envelope next to their name. If you wanted to email multiple ones, you could hit this check mark. And then check the ones you would like to email. But you can just click the envelope if you want to email just them. So then you can also see who their other additional advisors are if they have more than one advisor. And then if you clicked on their name, it would take you to another page, and we'll do that in a second. So getting to the registration portion, if you want to grant them clearance, you'll go up here to advisee status. You'll click on need registration clearance. You'll pick the semester you want to register them for. You can pick a different semester, but you do need to grant them clearance for each semester. So if you want to grant, let's say I wanted to grant Aaron Alverson clearance for the fall and the spring, I would have to go into fall and grant him clearance, and then go into spring and grant him clearance. I cannot click one and then open it up for the entire year. So I have to do it one semester at a time. Okay, so let's show what that looks like. So here we're in the fall. Click on search. Again, we're looking for everybody who needs registration clearance. So if somebody does not show up on this, it means you've probably already given them clearance, or somebody else has given them clearance. Okay, because if they have multiple advisors, then multiple people could grant them clearance. So, who was I just talking about? Oh, Aaron Alverson, he's not on there. Well, here, let's go back and find him, because he's not on this list, as I mentioned. So let's go look at people who are not yet registered for the fall and hit search. Let's work in there for a second. Not yet registered for the fall. There he is. So apparently I had already, probably in practicing this video, granted him clearance. So I want to remove that clearance. I click the remove. The page refreshes, and it opens back up to where it says grant. So let's go back over here to, so you can use not yet registered for granting and removing clearance, or you can use needs registration clearance for granting clearance. Okay, so Aaron Alverson, there he is. He needs clearance for the fall. I click grant. The page refreshes. Boom, he's disappeared because now he has clearance for 2 weeks. Registration clearance stays open for 2 weeks. After that point, students would appear on your page again as needing to be granted clearance, and they would have to come to you again for clearance. Okay, so again, if I wanted to grant him clearance for the spring and the fall, I'd need to search for spring as well. Go pull up his name and then grant him clearance there again. Okay, As the weeks progress and you want to see who's registered, you could click on Not Yet Registered to see the people who I've granted clearance. Are they registered? Are they not? Here's Aaron. Again, it says that he's not yet registered, and that's why he's still showing up on that list. So I'm going to go in here to the fall and remove his clearance because I don't want to give him clearance just yet until he meets with me. The reason for this clearance is so that you have the ability to kind of pursue the student and get them to come meet with you to talk through the classes. If you want to look at their previous history, you can click on their name. It'll bring up all their information here. You can look at their schedule. You can look at their degree audit over here. You can send them an email. You can sort of see what their max credits are, GPA, think what their major is, things like that. So that's a helpful resource if you need to, maybe it's a student that you don't already know by heart. Maybe you have a very large group of advisees, which many of you do. You can go click on each student to look at their information here. So click on their name and it will give you information. So that's essentially how you give them clearance. I don't want to make the video that much longer. Give them clearance, grant. If you need to remove it, you go click on Not Yet Registered in order to remove the clearance. And that's how it works. If a student is in the classification whose time it is to register, and you've granted them clearance and they still can't add courses, they probably have a hold, a financial hold, a learning contract hold, which is easily removed as long as they've done a learning contract with our office. They could have a hold for immunizations at this point, which they have received emails about. So all these holds that they would have on their account, they've received communication about. So it's essentially that they need to go log into My.Greenville, see what the hold is so they can look at it. And actually, let me see if I can find somebody who might have a hold. Let's go see, this student isn't here anymore, but I can go see if he has a hold that I can then show you. So as an advisor, you can see what their hold is. I clicked on his name and over here it says hold. So even though you're going to clear them, I would suggest that if you're advising them and you say, okay, I'm going to give you clearance for the fall, go register, check this page first, because then you can go, actually, I've given you clearance, but you're not going to be able to register because you have a hold on your account. The hold is a B1 hold, which usually means that there's a financial hold. They have a bill that they need to pay. There would be other holds that would be detailed here. Typically, though, B1 means they have money they need to pay. They have a bill. So you, as an advisor, can see their holds and direct them to the appropriate office. So you do have the ability to see that. So I strongly suggest you do that. Preferably don't send them all to me to find out what their holds are, because you can see the hold and the student can see the hold. It's just a matter of finding it and reading it. So that's it. If you have questions, if you have malfunctions with students who can't access this, or you can't access an advisee, contact the records office, records@greenville.edu. Give them a call. Or if your students need help in how to navigate My.Greenville so they can add their classes, feel free to send them to me. I will be probably putting out some sessions to help walk them through how to add classes using My.Greenville, sort of in the same way that I've just directed you, and how to give them clearance. So send them my way if they have questions about that. If you have issues, sort of technology malfunctions with clearance and My.Greenville, contact the records office. All right. Have fun registering or giving clearance for students to register for classes.